Hello everyone, my dear students and my viewers, I welcome you all. Last time we have studied the topic peritonitis and today we are going to understand about the pelvic abscess. So pelvic abscess occurs following the peritonitis. So pelvic abscess is the accumulation of the pus in the rectovesical pouch or the rectouterine pouch or the pouch of Douglas. So accumulation of pus. Accumulation of pus in rectovesical pouch, also known as rectouterine pouch or pouch of Douglas. So the three different names. Pelvic abscess is the accumulation of the pus in the rectovesical pouch or the rectouterine pouch. And this condition usually occurs following the three conditions mainly: after the peritonitis, or after the surgery, or after acute appendicitis. Or after the perforation. So if a perforation occurs in the intestine or in the peritoneum or in the pelvic cavity, or if the peritonitis occur, or if after the surgery, means post-operatively, like in case if improper sterile instruments are used, or if foreign body remains in the pelvic area, so that can lead to the pelvic abscess, or after the acute appendicitis. Now what happens, the history, when you will take the history from the patient, then patient will say that earlier he is having or she is having the acute appendicitis, the history of appendicitis, or there could be the history of peritonitis or the surgery. Now clinical features. Because it is a infection, there is accumulation of pus, so there will be fever. And fever depends on the intensity of the infection. If the infection is too much, then the fever will be at high grade. Along with fever, there will be chills and rigor. Lethargy, weakness, fatigue. So these are the common features of fever. You have to write all these common features of fever. These features are present in every type of infection. So you have to add this. Along with these symptoms, the marked symptom present is, patient will say that after the peritonitis or after the surgery, in history or in his life or in her or his life, he or she never had a problem like this, like there will be mucus discharge from rectum. Mucus discharge from rectum. So patient will say that this complaint she or he never had in the previous time, and the complaints have started after the surgery or after the peritonitis. So there will be mucus discharge from the rectum because of the irritation of the rectum, and there will be increased frequency of micturition. That means patient will run to toilet in small intervals. So there will be increased frequency of micturition, that is because of the irritation of bladder. So the irritation of bladder will leads to the increased frequency of micturition, and the irritation of the rectum will lead to the mucus discharge from the rectum. There will be fever, chills and rigors. Along with this, the very important feature is pain, tenderness. There will be marked tenderness. At which area? On the suprapubic area. Suprapubic region. So the pain will be at the suprapubic region. The tenderness will be marked in this suprapubic region, along with the mucus discharge from the rectum and increased frequency of the micturition, fever, chills and rigors. Now the investigations. In investigations, we will recommend patient for CT scan, so CT scan and ultrasonography will identify the extent and the size of the pelvic abscess, and if any foreign body is there, if foreign body exists in the pelvic area, then this investigation will identify that foreign object also. Besides these two investigations, a very good confirmatory test is by rectal examination. So what we will do? We will do the rectal examination. In that, there will be a tender boggy swelling in the anterior wall of the rectum. So while doing the rectal examination, you will feel the tender boggy swelling with pain. So patient will scream with pain, patient will have pain. So there will be boggy tender swelling at the anterior wall of rectum. So this is the confirmatory examination for pelvic abscess. Now the treatment. In treatment, we have to, because this pelvic abscess is in there is pus accumulation in the rectovesical pouch or the rectouterine pouch or the pouch of Douglas. So this rectovesical pouch or the rectouterine pouch is the most dependent part in the body. So whenever there is infection and inflammation in the peritoneum or the pelvic cavity, so that septic emboli will slip into this pouch, because it is the most dependent part in the body, and so there will be accumulation of the pus. So we have to excise this abscess. We have to excise this abscess along with the cavity, but because this is very sensitive area, so we will not excise with the cavity, but we will just drain out the pus and we will give the antibiotics. So what we will do, we will give general anesthesia to the patient. General anesthesia. And after anesthesia, we will introduce the proctoscope. And then we will make a nick. Nick is a small cut. So we will make the small cut or the nick. After introducing the proctoscope, we will make a nick or the small cut in the anterior wall of rectum. And then, because that will open into the abscess cavity. So then we will drain it with the help of sinus forceps. we will drain, or the drainage is made, or we will drain the pus with the help of sinus forceps. So after giving the general anesthesia, we will introduce the proctoscope and then we will make the small cut in the anterior wall of rectum, and that will open into the abscess cavity, and then we will drain the pus with the help of sinus forceps, and after that the cavity will get collapsed, and we will give the broad spectrum antibiotics that cover both aerobes and anaerobes. And in females, remember, in case of females, we will drain the pus through posterior fornix. So in case of females, we will drain the pus through posterior fornix.